We're talking about England because it was a victory last night over Italy, a double over Italy in the group. They've won the group. They're through to the European Championships in Germany next summer. Bellingham, starring role last night and a starring role for Real Madrid this season. He was quite interesting afterwards, talking about how he wants to stay there for the next 10 to 15 years. He says, in the last few months, I've been really working on my timing and getting into the box as I'm arriving. I'm arriving with bigger hunger. The bigger transfer is a fact, and I have to deliver, whether it's a goal or assist, a match-winning performance. This is the club I want to be at for the next 10 to 15 years. I'm loving it there. Carlo basically said, this is the position where he sees me. When you're around those mentalities and quality of players every day, it takes you to a new level mentally, physically, and technically. Is he going to improve even further playing where he is?
Well, you'd think so. I mean, I don't see much in his game he can improve on, to be honest. He's that good in every aspect. Self-belief is amazing. Athleticism is amazing. Awareness of where people are. Great timing into the box to make goals, score goals. And he can put it about. I think he's an all-rounder.
Do you understand why Adrian Durham said last night? I mean, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, this is a guy who's going to compete for the Ballon d'Or. While Adrian said last night he's the best player in the world, people will start talking about him like that now.
I can't think of anyone else who's playing better than him at the moment. So, yeah, he's one of the best in the world at the moment, yeah. He's got to maintain that. But, yeah, he's one of the best in the world at the moment, for sure.
Is he benefiting from the fact that he's also got brilliant family and advisors around him? He's made sensible career decisions, and essentially, although being at Real Madrid does not take you out of the limelight, it does take you out of the spotlight from an England perspective until you come back and put the Three Lions shirt on.
Sure, but he is playing for one of the most focused clubs in the world. If you live in Spain, which I have done for years, you know how big Madrid are in terms of people's perception of them. We've seen the backlash against Gareth Bale, where despite his remarkable achievements for Real Madrid, there was still this dissatisfaction with him amongst the Spanish press. Yes, I do. I think his father has been very instrumental. His characteristics, his temperament, his outlook on life have been installed into him by his family. So that means that when he's bouncing through and making decisions about not going to Manchester United and preferring to go out to Borussia Dortmund, learning his trade over there, developing it when he did interviews with Jim. I remember listening to Jim do an interview with him, which Jim regularly plays out when he was playing for Birmingham against Millwall. I think he was 16, 17 years of age. And the assuredness and the education and the balance. Not so much. I hate this expression that people trot out about the humbleness. I'm not entirely sure why footballers shouldn't be humble. I mean, as if it's some bonus point that he's humble. And I'm not entirely sure they know what humble looks like, most of them. But the point is this, is that the boy is on a trajectory of great opportunity in life. And he doesn't land. You don't land at Real Madrid at 19, 20 years of age and do what he's doing if you aren't something special. But
I do think Gareth as well does deserve some credit. We said it off air, but I mean, he did throw him in early. Now, you could argue
18 years of age
any manager would have, but I don't know if everyone would. I think Gareth threw him in. I was a bit surprised at the time, but he did, and he stuck with him since. I mean, his performances are tremendous.
When was the last time England had a player like this?
Even Gerrard.
Yeah, but Gerrard was a bit later developing, but at that age, Owen is a comparison, but different position. Owen burst on the scene at 18, was he?
17, 18,
17, 18 in a World Cup, and I think that was like, whoa, we've got a superstar.
Well, there was reservations about him at the time because Hoddle didn't want to play him, did he?
He didn't play him up until right just before the tournament, did he? Or did he even start on the bench?
I don't even think he started that until that Argentina game.
I think you might be right, yeah. Well, Bellingham is.
But I mean, you know, when you've got a player that is performing at the level that he was performing for Borussia Dortmund, and they were in the Champions League, and the opportunities that were coming, it's you give him credit for having the courage to put him in.
Yeah,
I don't know what his debut was and who he played against, so I can't really take it off the top of my head. But I think it's difficult to ignore this kid. Give him credit for putting him in, but you'd have to be a blind man not to.
Yeah, but and that's a fair point.
But even so, 18 years of age
I'm
is
just
still
talking
a
about
big ask.
Well, same as it for Wayne Rooney, I suspect, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we have sat here, and I've been guilty of it, talking about his safe. What's the word? Pragmatism, and the attitude of Gareth towards the way he sets the team up and stuff like that. So you could argue that he might be the type of character that wouldn't have done it, might be the type of manager that. But you're right. I mean, he is a special talent. So maybe any manager would have been silly, but you still got to credit him for doing it. And that's why
he's going to get in any international side right now, isn't he?
He would, but that's why I'm also talking about the likes of someone like Rico Lewis, and why I'm surprised he's not been brought forward, because Gareth has done it with Bellingham.
Yeah, he didn't play at the under-21 tournament either, Rico Lewis, because I think of workload. They didn't want to give him too much workload. So they obviously clearly know that he is one that they are going to go to in the future. But a bit like with Jude, actually, I don't know if you remember this, but they didn't
he's
call
older
him,
than Jude, isn't he? Or
similar age, yeah. They didn't call Jude up because he wanted to rest at some point. I don't know if you remember that. They had a conversation with him and left him out for a couple of squads, or one squad, and then brought him back, then left him out again to manage his workload. Maybe slowly but surely, when they feel they need to bring him into the team or can't resist bringing him into the team, they might then end up drip-feeding him in again.
I wouldn't be worrying about people's workloads. You've got tournaments to win in 5 months' time.
I mean, before all the furore and all the circumstances of Mason Greenwood's career, there was the same management of him at England level saying that we want to rest him and be able to put him in a situation where he's not playing too many games. Before we got all of... Yeah, I mean, absolutely what a player. What a waste.
Yeah. Harry Kane playing in Spain. I think that's playing in Germany.
He looked sharp, by the way.
He looked really fit, I thought, last night.
You can tell with him, can't you?
Yeah.
That sharpness, like shrugging people off, and he looked at it.
The battle which led to the third goal was actually sort of indicative of that, I thought.
Lightweight defending though, wasn't it?
We've always got a fine.
But it was. It was great. And by the way, Harry Kane should be sharp. But the point is this: it was lightweight defending, but he did his job, and that's what he's there to do.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.